Hi there. You're listening to The Show. Is it The Show or The Show? You're listening to The Show with Edmund Mitchell. No, You're listening to The Show with Edmund Mitchell. I'm Kyle Hyman from The Kyle Hyman Show with Kyle Hyman. You might remember me from episode 43 of The Show with Edmund Mitchell. And I'm really excited for this episode because I'm actually not sure what's in this episode, but I'm sure it's going to be good. And I will listen to it through my podcast app. Hey, just a reminder, I have a note here from Edmund that says that you can support the show by going to patreon.com/the show. Pretty easy to remember, patreon.com/the show. And you can give a little monies to Edmund and pals so they can probably spend it on new equipment and maybe hiring somebody. They do such cool things. Hopefully you're watching these videos, not just listening to the podcast, but watch the videos on YouTube and Facebook, because they do some cool stuff with the video, like little animations and little like sparks coming out of things, and not real sparks, but fake sparks. So check that out. YouTube, Facebook, The Show with Edmund Mitchell. I think that's the gist of this intro. So welcome to the show. Enjoy it like I do.
You staying home tonight?
I hadn't planned on it, no.
Plan on it.
Minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff of Discovery.
You're gonna die.
I'm Raymond Arroyo. We'll see you next time.
That's right, everyone! Welcome everyone to the show! That's right, it's the show! Here we are! Beth!
Wow.
Beth, are you excited? Beth,
High energy.
You made
tonight.
it on the show, guys! This is the show.
We've officially made it.
You officially made it.
There's nowhere but down now.
It's only downhill from here. It's only downhill.
Can I drink this now?
Yeah.
Yes, we're going to open these Topo Chicos. Everyone listening at home, we have a wonderful audience here
Have you
in
ever
my
opened
house.
a bottle before?
Let's hear it from the audience here for Blessed Is She. A lot of people love you guys. A lot of people love you guys.
Oh, thanks, friend.
Everyone, for those of you who are listening, this is the show with Edmund Mitchell and with Johnny. Johnny Philp is here. He's opening Topo Chicos excellently.
Oh,
Cheers.
it's hard to
Cheers.
open.
Wait, mine.
Oh, here you go.
Use your teeth.
No way.
Use your bare hands.
All right, here we go, guys. They've never had Topo Chico.
So you have to do what he said.
okay.
You have to do
I'm
the
not
thing.
doing that.
It's
What
worth
he
it.
says.
It's worth it.
Okay. The first time you tried Topo Chico, this is how it was introduced to me.
Okay.
And this is like a real thing. I mean, you don't want to like culturally appropriate this drink.
Yeah.
You want to treat it respectfully.
It's true.
Okay, so when you drink this,
It's like very
You-
shaming.
what? No.
Beth's not into
I
shame
don't
talk.
respond well
No,
to
this is a
shame.
christening.
Don't
No,
be-
we are here together.
This is
can't
like
be
an
Coach Edmund.
initiation.
No, I'm saying we are here. We are one. We are Topo Chico. So, no, but here's how you will ruin this drink. And everyone who's watching will be like, that was awful. If you sip it, your first time, you just take a lot of it.
He's not lying.
I'm not lying. I did this. This is how it was done to me.
Johnny said it, so.
So
Do we believe Johnny?
He made me do this.
let
and
me
I
tell you,
promise it was worth it.
It was worth it. This water comes from Monterrey, Mexico.
California?
Yeah, no, Mexico, Beth. Whoa. So
Beth, that is a
it is a miraculous. If you see the logo here, it's a miraculous. It was
my God.
It was thought to have
Wow.
miraculous powers, and it comes out of the ground. Listen.
Pagan water.
No, it's not
pagan
pagan
water.
Listen, Jenna.
I need
It's a
Jesus
beautiful
water.
symbol.
Yes, be with me here. Look, this is
Be with me.
this water comes out of the ground carbonated.
I'm glad it has the
So here we
ingredients
go.
in Spanish.
get
That's
real.
Here we go.
helpful.
Come on,
This is not
guys.
real.
As long as you can drink it without stopping. Ready? Everyone together.
I'm gonna win.
Let's go, Jenna.
I got a head
I
start.
can't do it. I
But
can't.
that was really good though.
Thank you.
Jenna's about.
Oh my gosh.
You did better than Jenna.
Oh my gosh.
I'm literally
I feel so sick.
Why am I crying?
Are you
You're
at the
crying.
I feel so sick.
That's hard.
I feel so sick.
That's not good. Oh,
Jenna, I haven't eaten in 48 hours, and you just pumped my stomach full of bubbles.
Goodness
Spit
gracious.
on me.
Literally, my eyes are like crying.
Doesn't it
Oh,
feel good?
Jenna. I'm the opposite of blessed right now.
I don't understand. Are you going to do something about this?
Why did you throw up?
Edmund!
Jenna, I'm going to start a site. Condemned is he. That's me. I feel...
There was that one
My tummy
website.
hurts.
What did they make?
Excuse me?
Is it carbonated water?
That one website. Something is he.
Blessed?
No, those guys.
I feel really awful. This is the worst start to a podcast we've ever done.
Let's call this one done. This is good.
Okay.
One of our best.
Grizzled. That was it.
Grizzled is he.
Oh, David
it was
Calavita?
It was
Yeah.
the Life Teen.
David Calavita sent us this bolo. Topo bolo.
Sweet.
Beth didn't even want to look. Beth, you didn't even
I've
look.
seen it.
No, you went, sweet.
That's so sweet. That is really sweet. David.
This is my house, Beth.
Thank you,
You have to
David.
be nice to me. You have to be really nice to me.
Edmund,
Wow.
I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, no, I know. Me and Beth are really close. Okay. So,
Yeah, you
let's
just
explain.
spit on her.
Yeah, we're real close.
I know.
We're real close.
Let's explain who's on the podcast. Johnny, who are you?
Johnny.
Yeah, tell,
Name is Johnny Phillip. I'm
Okay.
26 years young as of yesterday.
Are you really 20? Oh, happy birthday.
Thanks.
You're like a little baby.
Little baby. Little itty bitty baby. That I have two babies.
sweet.
Yeah. Jenna, how old are you? We'll just go around the
26
table.
years young. She's 20, right?
I think I'm 32.
Are we telling our ages?
Yes, how old are you, Beth?
Why is this?
And I'm married. Can we do ASL again?
ASMR?
Wow, guys.
Oh, yeah.
My name is
ASL. No. This isn't that kind of podcast. Okay, Beth,
Not yet. It
Sorry,
isn't.
friend.
can you tell our audience?
Yeah.
It's a very serious audience, so can you tell them about you?
My name is Beth Davis,
What else? What's the most important thing about you, Beth?
daughter of God.
I knew it. I
knew it.
it.
Wow. I didn't know it.
Beth, what's your worst mortal sin?
Oh, gosh. I'm just kidding. I didn't tell him to say that.
Yes, you did. You told me. You texted me on the way here, and I
No.
said if I have to.
Wow. Was that you, Jenna? That's immediately getting clipped out. Corey, clip it out.
I'm so sorry, Corey.
Marker.
Wow.
Corey's gonna be
You should
busy
have seen
this
what
episode.
Edmund did to Lindsay.
What did
Okay,
I do to
don't-
Lindsay?
you can't say things like that.
Wait, which one's Lindsay?
Our editor.
My Corey.
What did I? Oh, no, I kind of trashed you guys'. There was a lot of editing
Right.
required.
This
Yeah.
is what I mean.
Yeah. But no. But this podcast actually has no editing. Did you know that, Jenna?
You just said I'm editing out my burp.
No, I meant like we're going to clip it out and make it Instagram
no,
micro
we're editing
content.
it, and we're gonna turn the volume up, and
it's gonna be
pitch
looped.
down.
Perfect.
It's going to be looped.
Just a loop of burps.
Yeah.
Okay, and who are you?
My name is Edmund Mitchell.
The third, right?
Yeah. No, second, actually.
second, yeah.
Wow.
Did you know that?
Junior.
I didn't.
Yeah, I'm the second.
But you don't have an
Do
Edmund
you call
Mitchell.
yourself the second?
No, I kind of stopped it with me.
I think it's so cool that you're a second.
I know. That's why I didn't want any third to take
No third.
more. I didn't want.
To supersede?
Yeah, I didn't want because
One
it
up
just
you?
gets cooler with each
Totally,
one.
it
I
does.
wanted the cool to stop with me.
You're right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Selfless.
I don't know. It's just
Right.
kind of weird. Well, because I didn't want to fall prey to what my dad fell prey to, which is now he became Ed and Uncle Ed, and no one wants to be Uncle Ed.
Yikes.
I have an Uncle Ed.
How's that?
Not good.
Okay, guys.
I don't mind Eddie.
It's okay.
Really?
I just think Ed,
I
and
We
think
Ed.
kinda
also call him
worse for
Uncle
me.
Eddie, guys.
Is it Uncle Eddie?
I would rather be Ed than Eddie.
Really?
Eddie is a crazy guy. Ed is just old.
Yeah.
Literally
Oh,
a family name that you guys are bashing right now.
No, Eddie is a.
Let's move
I
on.
have multiple cousins, uncles, and grandfather.
Yeah, but no one's like a Duke Eddie, right? Like no one's like Royal King Eddie, right? That'd be weird.
That would be weird.
So you guys run a website that I've heard is very popular. With,
Ascension Press.
yeah.
.com.
No. We're laughing.
But deep down we're mad.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
That was a good one,
Not what I
Johnny.
needed.
Jenna, stop.
funny.
Don't
Why didn't you
encourage
read
him.
his
Did you want
mind?
this? I got you.
Thank
About
you,
what?
Beth.
It's not what he needed.
Okay, what I wish we would have covered more. Well, no, I guess we wouldn't have covered it on your podcast. But what, Beth?
I wish we would have covered more of anything on our podcast.
I cannot believe you, Beth.
I mean,
Okay,
it was-
fine. Let's go there. Okay.
Yikes.
No.
Yikes.
Let's explain. No, people don't know what you're talking about.
This
Let's
can
explain it.
You don't think they've listened to our podcast, Edmund?
No, you
Wow.
edit. No, guys.
Wow.
They edited out the part where I bore my soul and heart for like 30 straight minutes.
Lindsay, don't listen to anything he's saying.
And
We
then-
love you dearly, Lindsay.
And then Jenna didn't know any follow-up questions. She had run out after 30 minutes.
I tried.
And so then she looks at Beth, and Beth says, I'm just trying to figure out what this podcast is about. And had I been a lesser man, had I been less professional and sharp as a tack,
Wow.
had I had less testosterone
Of course.
rushing through my body.
Wow. That's graphic.
It's biology, it's science. I'm crying. So emotional. I get emotional about my masculinity. Had I been a lesser man, I would have been thrown. The podcast would have been over. Yeah. I would have just said, like, I would have been crushed, soul crushed.
Okay, I think we're being a little dramatic.
Who are you?
And by we, who do you mean?
I mean Edmund. What I'm really saying is I
Okay.
wish that we would have had more of a direction for you. I feel like I failed you.
You feel like I need direction.
I failed you as a podcast host. I failed
Okay.
myself. I failed the Blessed Is She community.
This episode is about to blow up.
This
You
is
guys gonna check
amazing.
tomorrow. It's gonna have a million
Yeah, everyone's going to be
downloads.
downloading that episode from Blessed Is She.
Okay.
No, Beth, you did great. No, you did great. That's why I think you guys shouldn't edit as much, because I really love that.
I want the unfiltered Jenna and
Yeah,
Beth.
I want
We
the
put
real
the
Beth.
YouTube up.
That's true.
Johnny made it for us.
Yeah, yeah. Can I be honest with you both? What?
That sounds terrifying.
Let's shake their head. No.
Sure, yeah.
You both are my favorites. You guys are awesome. Really, seriously. We brought you all the way out here
Flew us out.
because you are both
First class
our favorites. Seriously.
on Spirit Airlines, and
Yeah.
you're here.
And I've said it on your podcast. And I'll say
You're
it
an
again.
avid listener.
No, I don't actually
I
listen.
know what
to
he's
it.
gonna say.
Never
But-
listened in his life.
But
You know.
Here it comes.
no, I do listen. I listened to my episode and I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
The co-host you guys brought on was terrible.
No, it was Lindsay's editing. She could have just made me
Lindsay,
sound
don't
better.
Lindsay, we
listen to that.
love you.
No, she could have made me sound better.
I think
Okay.
she was working on up and up.
How many minutes in? We're
Taking it
13
back.
minutes in. Wow. Okay.
Taking it back.
well.
Taking back that sentence.
No, what I was gonna say is, and I said this on you guys' podcast, and Nick knows that I'm being honest when I say this.
Nick?
I really, and I'll say this again. I will say this again on my podcast.
I know what you're gonna say.
You know what I'm gonna say?
Let's say it at the same time. I'm gonna speak for you, and
One,
you say for you. Okay,
One,
ready?
two, three.
I'm the biggest
male
blessed is
fan of
blessed is she. That's true.
Yeah.
Exactly
You guys,
like
you
that.
could have rehearsed that.
Yeah.
We didn't.
How do you guys feel
We've
about
lived
that?
very busy lives, Beth. We don't have
Yeah.
time to
Sorry.
rehearse.
How do you guys feel about that?
Words escape me. Honored.
I have a lot of things, but it's private. I can't say.
I still feel like I don't understand exactly how this all started.
I don't either.
And we talked about it a little bit while we were there, but and part of the reason I love Blessed Is She is because it's in this, like, I feel like I watched this happen. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like when you watch, like, it's like when you know of a musician before they become
Totally.
Elton John.
Right.
And then when they get famous, you need to tell everybody.
Yeah. And then you're like,
knew
I
them.
remember,
Yeah.
like, I was there when Chance was freestyling in that In and Out before prom. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we were all there, right?
Is that a real story?
Fun.
Yeah.
Cute.
You knew
I don't know if it was
there.
an In and Out, but it was in a restaurant. He's like, there's YouTube
Yeah.
videos of him like before some dance in high school. And he's just spitting, and people are just recording it, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
And I feel like you both are Chance the Rapper to me. Seriously,
Thanks, Edmund.
That's sweet.
but isn't? I mean, you both are. So Johnny and I flew out, and we were out there for 2 days to try to help you.
Too
with
short.
Technology stuff.
2 days too
Yes.
short.
The
Yeah.
best.
And I was very delighted to get the sense that you both aren't always like necessarily self-reflecting or allowing yourself to be anything other than extremely humble and polite to your guests.
Thanks.
But anyways, you, I mean, Johnny and I are like, oh my gosh, you guys are the best. This is so awesome. Like,
Yeah.
Blessed Is She's huge. And you guys are just like, oh, thank you.
Is it?
So I guess what I'm getting at is like, I would love to have a conversation about this thing called just like people starting internet things, like
Yeah.
people starting internet ministries.
Yeah.
Because even though I'm very for it, I just don't know what that means for the church, because not everyone does it really well. Let's be honest. I mean,
Yes.
Let's go ahead and name a couple that are doing it poorly, Edmund.
we'll come back after this. You know, on there's that Netflix special. David Letterman asks Jay-Z, who are some,
weird.
he goes, who are some rappers that you think can't rap? Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who did he say?
Jay-Z was like, who's on late night right now that's not funny? And like asked David.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was hilarious. Now we're
He
talking about
Jesus juked
Netflix
him.
on my
He Jesus
podcast,
juked him.
Beth.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyways, as to people who have started this thing that has maybe gotten a little out of hand,
If we're being honest.
if we're being honest.
What's out of hand?
No,
Blessed
just,
is he?
yeah, just, I'm just kidding. But what do you think about the state of internet Catholic stuff? Especially after being in this for a while, right? I mean, it's challenging. I know that. So I'm softballing you, but
I think I have a good answer to this.
Praise the Lord.
Yeah. I think we're not really paying a whole lot of attention to what other people are doing.
yeah.
Jenna, early on, with one of our designers, kind of quipped this phrase. It's not a famous thing. It's just
It is now.
Is it a famous thing?
It's going to be famous.
Anyway, they
Yeah, I
just
heard it from
remind each
someone
other.
else,
They
yeah.
just remind each other, like, keep your eyes on your own paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I would say we just do what we're doing and what we feel like God is calling us to do. And
I believe in that 100%.
Yeah.
That's very Gary Vaynerchuk of you to say.
Love
You know,
him.
his book is right behind you.
I love him.
We put that there because we knew you'd be here.
Oh my gosh, he's so sweet.
My kids put that sticker on there and they got in trouble for weeks.
Don't ruin my signed copy, guys.
It's not signed. Yeah, I wish it was signed.
I'll sign it for you.
What do you think, Jenna? Actually, can you really? Here's a pen. Sign it.
No. You want me to sign Gary's name?
Sure.
I have his signature memorized.
Okay. Oh yeah, so do I. So Jenna, what do you think about running
Internet ministries?
Yeah, just
I think go for it.
No. I'm saying like you.
I want everyone to just do all the things.
Yeah, well, now you're pretty deep into it.
Okay, yes.
Has it been super easy? Has it been challenging?
Yes. To both.
Yeah. Like easier than you thought it would be in some ways.
I didn't think anything. I didn't try to do anything.
Yeah.
I was just
Isn't
doing
that
one
awesome?
thing. I was
I
just
love that.
doing the one thing that day.
Yeah.
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 Like, gotta make a website today.
Yeah.
Just gonna make that.
Yeah.
So then, like,
So
you
crazy.
get into the weeds in it, though, and it's like, oh, wow, I don't spend time with my family. Oh, wow, I haven't talked to my husband in a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, all of those things start piling up, and you have responsibilities now because you have a website to manage, and
Yeah.
you have people that are talking to you, and, you know, getting into the weeds of that and juggling family life, and your spouse saying you're spending too much time on that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all. I think that's a natural part of entrepreneurship in general, and or I guess any work, even, you know, ministry work too.
Yeah.
It can feel so right, and then continuing to step into that is just like, oh, then you have to back up and say, like, where are my priorities?
Do you still feel weird when you get an email or a comment? Like, I have this feeling where, like you said, I can relate to the, like, I'm just doing what I want to do. And then you get an email or a comment and you're like, oh, that's right. People are watching this. Do you get that much anymore?
That people are watching?
Yeah, like that people are maybe scrutinizing or looking at it much closer than you are because you're just like, we're praying, we're putting out content.
Yeah.
We're working with this team. I mean, I literally sat in a car for like 4 hours and listened to Beth minister to a team. It was amazing. I mean that in a good way. Like,
Yeah.
that was
Thanks.
like, you guys are just really caring for what you're doing.
Yeah.
And do you have those moments where a comment comes and you're like, oh crap, like there are other people that are watching this? Is that weird?
Beth?
Well, it's really special anytime we can meet up with people in person.
Yeah.
Comments are very sweet, and I love to just kind of ask people what the Lord is doing in that, and that's what I love about ministry in general. So meeting up with people and saying, like, how has this led you deeper into a relationship with Christ? I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the meetups are places that we kind of realize how many people are listening, and in the sense that like it's just a beautiful responsibility to like share the gospel with people.
Yeah.
So that's the place for me. There are weird things like when people will ask you questions or know things that you said on a live one time, and I'm like, I don't remember telling you that.
Yeah. We were just talking about
But
it. Yeah.
then, I said that in a live like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're just
But it was like touching to them,
Yeah.
typically.
or alarming. Maybe it was alarming.
They're like, wow, Beth, why'd you say that?
I'm like, wow. And you're like, look, I don't know. Just share my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my heart is alarming sometimes.
I think Beth typically has a more positive outlook on people.
Oh, extremely. That's what's so great about Beth.
I agree.
Except when it comes to me, she's much more
More negative about you,
I'm
Edmund.
joking. I would only joke with you because I feel like we're, yeah.
You're really close.
You used my hammock like we're close.
It was the best.
No, you really made me feel really good that you, because that's a gift you can give someone else to allow someone else to host you.
Yeah.
So we get that.
It's very biblical.
Yeah.
I could imagine Paul was like, take my tent.
Yeah, take it. Take my tent.
Sweet.
So how do you guys, this is what I struggle with, is the Catholic tent, teasing out, is very big. And you are remarkably, even behind closed, like even when we're just together, you're thinking about Blessed is She. It doesn't feel, I don't get the sense it's over curated or you're like you are worrying about praying and helping people and your team and caring for your team. But the Catholic Church or even just Christian stuff is a big tent, and there's a lot of different. How do you navigate like who you feel the Lord's calling you to be and pressures of other people saying, well, no, we want Blessed is She to be something different, but like Blessed is She means something different to me.
I mean, I think the Lord can work however he wants. We're going to do our thing with Blessed is She, and people are going to experience it in however the Lord's working in them,
Yeah.
So I think it shows the beauty of the Lord that he can work through something that we feel is simple, and it's just about prayer and community, and we want to have integrity in that in our own lives.
Yeah.
But then that the Lord can do something different in each person's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Johnny, how do
It's
you
rad.
deal with all like the many people that think you're just heretical in general? Like,
Does that happen, Johnny?
well, he wears really
Just
tight
like
pants.
a couple times a day.
I mean, he's a drummer. You
Guys,
see,
it's kind of side story on this.
No drums.
I gave a talk tonight, and this was kind of cool. The reflection right afterwards was my dad. That was the first time we've ever spoke.
wow, this was at RCIA.
Yeah, and they had like a huge group today. It was weird, but I kind of made a
weird,
joke
Catholic
at the
Church.
beginning because it's like a lot of them have just started RCIA. A lot of the catechumenates and
Yeah.
the candidates, and
Yeah.
I made a joke at the beginning. I was like, my dad's just here to make sure I'm not a heretic. No one knew what the word heretic meant.
Oh,
So they're just sitting there like, okay.
I love.
Sweet.
I
Okay.
love
Like-
teaching RCIA.
Me too.
I love it.
Oh, it's
I
so
love
fun.
that. Yeah. Just get a clean slate, you know?
So my favorite part of when Edmund and I came, the last night we were there, we went to dinner, and I think probably we're there for a solid 3 hours or something. And Edmund and I
It felt
are
like
just
3 hours. It was an
gosh.
hour, but it felt like 3.
I mean, both of us are like kids in candy stores, like, because like we've had our fair share of businesses, haven't we, Edmund?
yeah.
And some have succeeded.
Failed
That's not
businesses,
true.
yeah.
None have succeeded. But
R.I.P.
but we're
reverb
just
culture.
like going on and on about like, how did you come up with this? And all of it was just like, I prayed and the Lord provided, and like,
Yeah.
so like that's so much easier said than done.
I know.
You know, so like, what's your advice to people like, and I'm in this group, like people like on the prowl for the next big thing. Like, how do you find peace in waiting for the Lord to provide?
Well, I think this is an interesting conversation because Jenna and I are really polar opposites, and I've evolved so much under her guidance and just the example of who she is as a leader. Because I would over discern and like overanalyze and kind of sit back and say, the Lord will open the door, but not really pursue things or push through and say, well, it's not really coming together, so that must not be the Lord. But Jenna, I think, feels sort of the opposite, like bust through the doors.
Yeah.
And then, if it doesn't work out, try a different door. So it's interesting to meet in the middle a little bit. So I'd be interested to hear what you would say.
Yeah, I think I would share what I said earlier, which is just do the next right thing today.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to worry about tomorrow or next week or what's going to happen or it's just today. That's all you have right now.
Yeah.
And so do what you feel the Lord is calling you to today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably in your group because I went to A&M, which is like St. Mary's is like the castle of over discerning Catholics. And like, in fact, our pastor at the time, who's now Bishop Condrela in Oklahoma, he always said 80% of discernment is common sense.
Yeah.
And so I was always like, I'm 80% sure that the Lord wants me to eat this 8th ice cream cone. I'm going to do it. Like,
yeah.
I'm 20% sure that he doesn't, but I'm going to go with the 80% that he does. So like that, I mean, that's a hard balance though, to find like, okay, like what can I do today and not think about tomorrow?
Yeah.
You know?
I honestly, this might sound super weird, but I think I got that from Mike. Like even just discerning marrying each other. It was like, or marriage in general or vocational discernment. This is not the proper answer in terms of like what RCIA would say.
Definitely put it out there then.
I won't say it.
No one's
then.
listening.
I don't know.
No, I think it's great.
I think it's just like you make a decision and the Lord's going to continue to walk with you through that.
Yeah.
Like he's never going to leave you because you made the wrong decision.
Totally.
Yeah.
You're going to keep on walking and keep on continuing to be docile to him, but like he's never going to leave and you're not going to be abandoned and like, oh, I made the wrong decision. He's always going to be there.
Can I float something out there? I feel like, I want to float this out.
Yeah.
I've been working through this a little bit, trying to figure this out. I mean, obviously, there's probably holy saints have already figured, like you guys have already figured this out. But you know what recently I've been thinking is that when I look back on the decisions I made, it's not so much the decision that mattered, like the decisions mattered. But the times when I didn't include prayer, it's like I just want part of the story to be that I prayed about it. Like I don't even really care so much about like did I make the right decision or not. I'm just realizing like whether if you talk to an atheist or someone about like, well, what difference does it make? And I'm realizing more and more like I just want to be part of the story. Like if anything, the decisions where we didn't make it part of the story is just kind of sad.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know if that's theologically accurate. It just feels like, I mean, to get really personal, like I hear beautiful stories of like families, praying really hard and discerning, their kids' names. And there were times where I'm just like, what is God? Like God doesn't really care too much. I mean, like, it's not like I read the Bible and there's names are important, right? Like, no. But I mean, like, there's been times where, and then I'm like, well, it wasn't so much that God was gonna be like, here's the name, and this kid's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
It's just I wish that would have just been part of the story, regardless of if anything happened. Is that right? Am I wrong, Corey? Yeah, she doesn't know.
I think that's beautiful.
Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I don't know.
definitely. No matter how small the decision was, that you can look back and say, I was in a relationship with the Lord when I made that decision.
Yeah. It's like, your mom doesn't really have a say when you're 30, but like just the fact that you called her, included her in the,
Yeah.
So
She wants to hear from you. Call your mom.
Call your mom.
And it's just part of the story because it's like, oh, mom said that. And I was like, that's a dumb idea.
I hate that idea, Mom.
We're still moving. We're still moving very far away.
When Cece was born, the day before we found out we were pregnant was the day of Julie's brother's a priest in the Diocese of Little Rock. And so it was his ordination. And it was the day after that, and we're having breakfast. And I tell him, he said something like, are you guys gonna have another kid soon? Are you thinking you're going to? And I was like, I think we probably will. And I told him, I was like, this is kind of weird, but I have had this dream, and I feel like we need to name her Perpetua. And he was like, that's so weird that you said that because like she just came up and something like that. We found out we were pregnant that night, and I think that's right. Julie's way over there.
Julie,
I'm just gonna say that's right. And I was like, Julie, get this. We're supposed to name her Perpetua. And she was like, there's no way.
I will never
And
name
she
my
was like,
daughter
she'll be
Perpetua.
Perp. And I was like, Julie, the Lord told me to name her Perpetua.
Julie, don't you ignore the Lord.
Don't you ignore him. She's ignoring me.
You
right
know
now.
what he did to Sarah?
What? I don't get it.
I mean, she just didn't want to do it, and then he was like,
No, seriously, like I need you to do it. Yeah,
you're gonna have a baby.
that's what I said.
I mean, she didn't not want to do it, guys. She
Well, she was just
laughed.
like laughed. Yeah, she laughed. She was like, haha. You know. So. All right. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions? We're gonna go to questions,
Sonia?
Johnny. If you can get the questions, if you can turn around, and then Allie's gonna shout us the questions. Jenna and Beth.
Blood?
Benna and Jeff, we got a lot of great questions coming in.
This is good.
wow.
Jenna, this is a question for you.
Okay.
What is the worst thing you've ever done to Beth? I'm just kidding.
Wow. I want to answer that.
That's amazing.
This
Let me
one
think.
says, no, this is the real question. It says, over discerning versus jumping in with no logic. What advice would you give
Meet
to
in the middle.
couples who are opposites in that way?
Jenna, what advice would
Wow.
we give as a couple?
Guys, please, this is a Catholic podcast.
It's 2019. Bye, Nick. See ya.
Bye, Nick.
Bye, Nick.
You don't have to whisper, man.
Bye, Nick.
No,
Bye, Nick.
stop. This is not the
if you
kind
need
of.
a
I'm about to make a
refresher.
mouth
Answer the question, guys.
Couples who over discern / don't discern at all.
Well, this is a hard question for Jenna to answer because Jenna and Mike have the same discernment style.
We sure do.
What would you say? What would you say, Benna?
Is that our?
What's your couple name?
Is that our?
What would you
Or
say?
Jeff.
What would you say, Jeff?
Jess?
What would you say? What would you say?
I mean, you just talk about it. I don't know. Just talk about stuff. It's just important to talk.
All right.
Be like, I don't know. This is really, I'm really feeling this. Let's just go for it.
Okay.
So you win is what you're saying.
Jenna loves. Essentially, literally. That's
So Mike is a good husband.
Has that ever not worked out for you, Jenna?
Sure. Failure is a part of life. Heck yeah.
And Jesus is there in it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
You're going to learn.
Jesus wants your failure.
What, Allie?
It's way better than not trying stuff.
Nick left because he thought the podcast wasn't going well.
Nick, you're bored?
I didn't know that was an option.
Why did Nick leave? He wasn't enjoying himself?
Let's not recover it. Okay, Beth is enjoying it too much.
This one says, how do you stay grounded when you're
Stop, Beth.
continually... Beth, are you going to take this seriously? We need to know now.
It's a very serious podcast.
It says, how do you stay grounded? I like this question. How do you stay grounded when you're continually
Continually?
on social media? You're on social media all the time. How do you stay grounded in the chocolate?
Yeah,
Pass.
are you guys just like constantly in it?
I'm not on social media.
What? How?
We don't.
How is that possible?
We don't. Neither of us really post outside of what we do on Blessed Is She.
Yeah.
Oh, but you're like still having to post through Blessed Is She,
You
right?
post a picture of your kids. They're adorable.
Yeah.
Literally, like rarely.
She will story
Whose
on
kids
the
are those?
weekends occasionally.
Yeah.
So
They're
how
so
do you
cute.
how do you have that set up? What's the structure for? Because you guys put out tons of content.
We have an Instagram stories manager.
Yeah, but you post stuff to the.
Yeah, like on Tuesdays. So we
We'll
do
do
Teachable Tuesdays. And so on Tuesdays, we always have stories. So Beth and I will hop on. But that's really the only day that is designated for Beth and me to be on.
Wow.
What difference do you feel like it has made
I
for
have
y'all?
to stay away from social media. It's not good for me. All I want is affirmation from other people. All I want is, I want to do something. I said this earlier. I was like, we have to do something cool in order to story it. Like, my life is boring.
What?
I don't mean that in like a self-deprecating way. It's just like, this is just normal life. Like, it's not anything super special. Which I'm like, is that a disservice to not share about normal life? I don't know.
So when are we going to start vlogging though?
I mean, I'm all for vlogging. I'm into vlogging.
But you said your life's not interesting.
Totally. I thrive around people.
Yeah.
That's all.
Edmund, you're very
Nothing
rarely on
special
social
about
media, right?
Yeah,
I'm
Edmund,
super
you're
on social
pretty.
media.
You're
I'm
pretty
super,
rarely
but I don't know that
on
I have
social media.
I don't have as successful as.
Are you
a
grounded?
thing.
How do you stay grounded?
Yeah.
How do you not want affirmation all the time?
That's not the problem. For me, the problem is not looking for affirmation because I just don't.
You don't care.
Well, I do care. I just have been doing it. And I think other people here, you just start doing it so long that you know how to filter the comments. And my insecurities and hurts go very deep. So affirmation can never touch it. My cold heart.
Beth is like, I'm going to pray for this man right
So,
now.
I mean, so like both ends of the extreme
Yeah.
don't really,
Yeah.
touch that anymore. So it's more just, I just get caught up in the scrolling.
Sure.
Because, and Corey and I have talked about this a lot. I'm just constantly love like learning and like what can I gain from this person, even if I completely disagree or they're into, whatever, woodworking or some random thing, fishing or guitar or anything. Like so I have to turn off like the constantly scrolling.
Yeah.
Because I'll just keep. It's like if someone catches me in my office and like starts bearing their heart, like 3 hours can just go by because I'm just like I'm in. And so if I land on something where someone's like, "Here's what it's like being Amish," I'm like, "All right, cool." Like, I don't have to get off the toilet anytime soon. It's fine. I love you, man.
I definitely when I'm scrolling, I hear Gary, and I'm like, Gary is yelling at all the people who are wasting time
just
scrolling,
consuming
and I need to be
not creating.
need to be working.
Yeah. But Jedediah, he needs someone to talk to.
Who?
Jedediah, the Amish guy. So I'm like,
I will talk to him.
do any of you like, do you set times of the week or days of the week where like you're not on your phone or like around your family? Do you guys like Jenna?
No.
Do you guys don't have phones in your house?
We leave our phones outside. They get the
Really?
heat
Wow.
warning,
They get
115
stolen
degrees.
constantly.
You put them in a shoe bin. People take off their shoes and put their phones in the.
No, only you take off your shoes, Edmund. No one else.
No one else in your family.
Who has shoes off? Just Edmund.
You have shoes on?
Yes, he does.
Who in the audience has their shoes on? How many
Every
people?
person.
Allie's
Oh,
off. I knew I
Allie.
liked Allie. Sonia, shoes on.
Who's wearing shoes?
Dang it, Laura. Dang it.
You're the only one, man.
I mean, I'm not good about not having my phone in front of my kids.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, I mean, that's what they thought about TV, and look how Beth turned out. Great, amazing. Right? The TV was around, right?
Beth
when you were growing up?
uses night vision, orange screen.
I'm always trying to
She's
not
trying
scroll.
to
Okay.
Yeah.
limit her phone time.
I don't love to post. I think I'm like really hard on myself about how I say things and like, am I expressing this? And
Yeah.
I really want to be understood, and so that sometimes keeps me from posting.
Yeah.
But also, turns out I'm just a little more private than I thought I was.
Yeah. I
Like
respect
it was a really big shock for me to do Blessed Is She, and like
Yeah.
particularly starting Teachable Tuesdays. Like I just felt very out there, and I'm sharing like the truest,
Yeah.
most vulnerable parts of my heart. So that took some getting used to, and I think that caused me to want to back up in other ways. So
how did you get used to that?
Jenna has a phone in front of my face all the time.
Yeah. But how have you
Like
gotten
exposure
over
therapy.
Because a lot of yeah, exactly. But a lot of people are struggling with that. A lot of people are like feeling the pressure to put everything out there. And how do you
I don't feel pressure to put it out there. I want to talk about it. It's the most important thing.
No,
in
I
my
know,
life.
but you
Yeah.
said like before you were realizing the hesitancy of like, no, I actually am pretty private. I'm realizing I don't like, how did you get over was it literally just Jenna just constantly doing it and being like,
I don't know,
you're
Frank, what
fired.
do you
If you
think?
don't do this, you're fired.
No.
You're fired.
Fired.
No.
Did you just fire Beth on this podcast? This is gonna get so many
Someone
views.
offered her a job today. I think it was you, Johnny.
It was me. And I stand by
You
that
really?
offer. Yeah. I was like, Beth, if you're not
He's like,
attached
Jenna,
to-
close your ears.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I was only 90% serious.
Yeah, well, that's more than you need to discern with the Lord. So that's like
right.
10% more than you need.
And Beth is 10% sure she's going to take it. So. And I can pay
Like
her
a
10% of what
10.
she's making right now.
10% of what
Wow.
you're making sad.
What were we talking about? Oh, more
Exactly.
questions. Go with the other
Yeah.
questions.
Okay, here's another question. This is a good one. Said that every time. If there was a ministry ministering to internet ministers, I'm going to repeat that.
Yeah. No, I got it.
If there was I didn't get it. That's why
Oh,
I'm
okay.
repeating it.
Okay.
If there was a ministry ministering to internet ministers like yourselves,
Yeah.
what do you feel like the content would be?
Yeah. It wouldn't be content. It would be contact. It would be in person, like not online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, though.
Yeah.
You got to break from that.
Yeah.
You're saying what? It needs to be contact? What does that mean?
Like in person relationships.
That's the ministry.
Yeah. That's what I'm just talking about what I need.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense, though.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
I don't want to read emails and follow social media accounts.
Yeah.
I want like someone to know
yeah.
my heart. I want someone to pray with me.
Yeah.
You know?
I've heard
Next
of that.
question, Johnny.
Nope. Edmund didn't like that one.
This is going to be good.
It was good, just not great.
Let me just preface this one with a little story. This
Okay.
was
He loves it.
Beth was taking Edmund and myself to the airport.
Can I have the opener?
You can
Did
have
you
it,
write
yeah.
this question?
Oh,
I didn't.
gosh.
I swear I didn't. It's in cursive. That's how you know I didn't write it. And we're like
can't write
pulling up
cursive?
to the terminal. No, I can't.
Oh, I
And-
can't believe.
No, this was awesome. This is such a good.
This is so
This
Beth.
encompasses Beth so well. She was like just affirming us. She was like, "Guys, it was so fun to have you. Like this was a blast." And like we're pulling up to the terminal, and she's like, "We don't have much time. Tell me about your prayer life." Like, and she just knocks that one out.
Wasn't it literally like, how's your heart?
or something like that? And it was a beautiful question.
Like, we are decelerating
Yeah.
to get dropped
Well, you
off.
guys were talking about like dumb stuff the whole drive, and I kept
Oh, okay.
trying. It's like you're talking about coffee, and I was like, "This is what guys are like. They just like talk about stuff."
I don't even drink coffee. It was all Ed.
There's layers, Beth.
Layers. Got to peel it back like an
there's
onion.
layers.
I was trying to
There's
find
layers.
an in just to ask, like,
And instead
how are
you just
doing?
went for it?
You're like in ministry,
Yeah.
and I just want to know how you are doing with the
No,
Lord. Like how you,
We
you know?
really appreciate that question. We would have loved to talk about that in any of the other hours
Let's talk about it now.
of the 50 hours we were there.
We're about to talk about it once I read this question.
praise the
Okay,
Lord.
okay,
But the
okay.
thing
Praise
that
him.
the thing I loved about that though was Beth is so good at like you could be talking about like I'm going to buy a tractor tomorrow. She'd be like, "That's great. How's your heart?" Like she, she'll just pull that out. She'll
What does the
just
Lord think
have it
about
in-
that?
Yeah, she'll have it in her back pocket. So the question is, what kind of boundaries do you have to set spiritually and emotionally to stay healthy?
Just in general, like, yeah, that's a good question.
I think, yeah, I mean, like, how do you find spiritual health?
Or like,
those are
I'm
two
about
different
this question.
questions.
Okay, well,
Spiritual health and
exactly
spiritual
what-
Who
boundaries.
broke this?
What
Someone
kind of
broke
boundaries
this.
do you have
I was
to
playing
stay
with it.
spiritually and emotionally healthy? What kind of boundaries do you have to stay
What
spiritually
advice?
and emotionally
What advice
healthy?
do you give someone? You're decelerating, about to drop someone off at an airport, and they're like, "Beth, how do I keep healthy, emotional, and spiritual boundaries?"
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I'm an expert on that.
Yeah, we know that
Well, why are you asking me then?
because you pray, Beth, and we
You
care
are
about your
on
answer.
the show.
We don't want experts out of the mouth of babes.
I mean, there are lots
Lord.
of good books about boundaries.
Yeah, I have one over there.
Yeah, called Boundaries.
Is that it?
That's a good one.
Is that the one you have?
This is
Safe
great.
People
Boundaries.
is another good one.
Hashtag sponsored.
Wait, what's the other one, Beth?
Safe People. It's the
Safe
same
People?
authors. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a picture of Beth in it.
Well, what about?
I think it takes a lot of practice. I think you have to start listening to yourself and honoring how you actually feel about relationships. I think we do this thing as Christians where we think we have to love and serve and be available to people who aren't necessarily healthy for us.
Yeah.
And we feel guilty by limiting our time or like what we share with them. But the Lord isn't asking us to just like haphazardly give our hearts to people. I mean, He wants to have custody of our hearts and then He entrusts it to other people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So books are good. I will never stop shouting from the rooftops that everybody needs counseling. Everybody needs to go to therapy at
Amen.
some point in their lives.
Amen. Thanks, Dave McLeod. That's our counselor. I haven't told you about this. I tell everyone I deserve affiliate royalty stuff because I've recommended him to so many people that have
Yeah.
started going to him.
Yeah.
Danielle and I did a lot of marriage counseling, and then I've done like single, like both of us have done single sessions
Yeah.
and stuff. And we're like really, and then we had Dr. Gregory Bataro on the podcast
Yeah.
just to talk more about, I think, I 100% think people should do it often.
Yeah.
I was explaining to someone, I convinced a close friend, I convinced a very close friend of ours that we all know to get counseling as an anniversary gift for his wife.
Wow.
And he was like, she's going to be really weirded out by this. I'm
No.
like, no. Like, to tell your wife, I'm going to drop however many hundreds of dollars because I want us, even though I'm not saying we have problems, I want us to just be really great. Like, I want to invest in the future of our marriage and like our health and, you know.
How'd it go?
Yeah. He did it.
Yeah?
Yeah. And they loved it. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
I'm awesome. I'm a good friend.
You're
Wow.
a really good friend.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Really
Number
good.
one.
just cross your fingers and maybe
Maybe
you'll
we'll be
my
friends.
friend. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, next question.
This is going well. As internet ministers,
Did you write this, Allie?
Oh. This is your handwriting, Allie.
internet
This is literally in
ministers is like an
calligraphy, Allie.
interesting-
It's going to be the episode
Language.
title.
It says, as internet ministers,
As
what,
an I am.
as an I am,
No.
as an I'm, what do you feel like is gained versus missing from having your ministry online?
Well, Beth talked about like being in person instead of on the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's something you said, I think.
I mean, I think it's two different things.
Yeah.
Online, we are sharing, like Beth said, on Teachable Tuesday a lot, and we do just stuff throughout the day or whenever, like campaigns type stuff, I guess. We're just sharing about our relationship with the Lord and showing people how they can have a prayer life and how they can have a relationship with the Lord and how He's good and there's a reason to do it and He saved us and I don't know, there's like a life to be lived with Jesus. And then the in-person part is sharing that with people in real life. And so we're just trying to be catalysts for every single person going to make a friend to talk about Jesus in real life. So I don't ever think of us as like internet ministers,
Totally.
I guess.
Yeah.
I always it's just me sharing about a friendship that's rooted in the Lord
Yeah.
as a hope that you'll go make a friend and talk about Jesus too.
Yeah, I think it's an important distinction is that we don't think of Blessed Is She as an internet ministry. We think about it as an online community that leads to in-person friendship.
Yeah.
That's the goal of everything that we do.
Right.
Not to build this like online machine,
Yeah.
but to get people in small groups, hosting brunches, going to retreats, having coffee with someone from their parish, you know?
Yeah.
Not even for the sake of the Blessed Is She brand, but for the sake of Jesus and the kingdom.
Right. Yeah. Our friend from New Orleans came a couple weeks ago, and she was telling us, I just got back from Phoenix like that day. She was like, I love the daily devotionals, and that's what got me to go to the retreat. And here's all the friends I made at the retreat.
Wow.
And so, yeah, I think that could be a really easy misconception to make. Like all they do is internet ministry.
Yeah.
But not, I mean, like none of us think that, but that could be a really easy assumption to build with with the first step being online for a lot of people.
Right.
They could think, okay, every step is online.
Yeah. We always say with every single thing we do, every single live thing we do, every gathering, everything, it's just we're trying to give you a reason to get together with a friend. That's
Nice.
it. We make like a little free small group study guide. And like in the emails that I send when someone downloads the study guide, it says like, here, I'm going to give you some words to copy and paste and text to a friend. And it just
Nice.
says, hey, I have this free study guide. Will you sit down and do it with me? Like the goal with every single thing in Blessed Is She is for you to do this with another friend
Yeah.
or do it with a soon-to-be friend.
That's
to
awesome.
just see someone at church and be like, hey, do you read Blessed Is She? Like, I don't know, do you want to do a brunch together? Everything is pointing to in real life relationships.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's really cool.
How many other questions do we have?
We have two.
Wow.
I don't know what this one means.
Okay.
You can discern that. This one says, how do you stay motivated when you thrive around people, but you aren't necessarily with them?
That's a great question.
I don't understand the
I
question.
don't understand it either.
When you thrive around people, but you aren't with them?
Yeah.
What's it like to thrive?
Yeah,
It's
that's
because
my life.
we work at home. We work at
just
Jenna's
me and Beth.
house.
We're not around people.
We're not.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I still don't get it.
We have to just live it. If we're telling people if we're telling women, hey, get in a small group. If we're telling women, get together with someone
it.
for coffee. If we're telling women, hey, have a family dinner and invite random people to your house and have a dinner.
Yeah.
We have to do it.
Yeah.
So everything that I'm thriving because I'm actually attempting to live what it is I'm inviting other people or encouraging other people to do.
Yeah.
Oh, I felt that firsthand. I was in the car with Beth. We were going through a busy
Yeah.
intersection.
Oh, I thought it was going somewhere else.
No,
What?
Oh, like
you
I felt
talking
her
about?
community. Like I felt very.
What do you mean?
We were driving.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
We were driving together.
More driving Beth stories.
I love these
Yes.
Beth stories.
I do too.
Stories are
Title of this
amazing.
podcast,
Beth stories, volume 1. So we're driving through this intersection. Beth and I have been sent to find something that someone forgot to buy or something. I don't know. It was
Well,
me.
first
Probably
we went
you,
to
I was
Best Buy.
So then, Beth, as we're going through this, like, as we're turning left through some busy intersection, like, Beth's eyes glance across the clock and the time. And it's otherwise a sweet car ride. Beth is very sweet, soft-spoken.
Gentle.
Soft-spoken.
A gentle spirit.
Okay.
A smiling.
A peaceful dove.
Just a bastion of hope.
Peaceful
Yeah.
dove.
Well, yeah, and just like just very,
Just a little.
just very honest and earnest, and
very honest. The honestest.
and just simple,
honestest?
not simple, but like, and
simple.
Is this going somewhere?
Yeah.
This is going somewhere.
so she's making the old Larry,
Yep.
and I'm just enjoying the contemplative presence of
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
prayer,
Yeah.
and out of nowhere, Beth just goes, "Shit, shit, Edmund, damn it!" And I have never been so scared of anyone or anything created by the Lord. I have never. There is nothing in the world has ever scared me.
Wow.
Edmund, I said the F word. I thought
I
you were
wasn't gonna say
You were
that,
gonna
but
say that.
sure. I
I
wanted
thought
to
you were
give
gonna
you.
out me. I was like mortified.
Well, you just-
But then you didn't. But I don't like that word either.
I know, but
I don't really cuss either. Tell them, Jenna.
No,
don't
I know.
really
No.
cuss.
This is a praise story, Beth. This is a praise story.
It's really hot in here.
Ephesians 4:29.
I have never been so. I thought an oncoming semi, Beth, like saw some type of steamroller and we were done.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to die. All my children's names
Okay.
flashed before my eyes and I don't even know them all. Like it was just like all their birth dates and everything.
Yeah.
You
It
don't know
was-
their birthdays.
No.
How
and-
many you have?
Yeah. And do you know what made Beth do a naughty thing she would never do?
Never.
You know what made her do that? What was it, Johnny?
She missed.
No, you don't know.
Oh, I don't.
Here's what happened.
I know what
Well,
it
yeah,
is.
you know, but
I know what it is.
this is what happened.
But I
This is what happened. Beth had made a commitment once a month. Is it once a month?
Yeah.
Had made a commitment once a month to get on a group call with her writers and to like have that time with them.
We all do it. I'm not.
No,
Like,
you're
I'm-
special.
It's you, Beth.
You
are
It is
special,
you.
Beth.
But no, Beth.
all
But,
do
but to be
it.
honest, like it was just a very honest moment, and you were that vulnerable and that into missing. And I was like, "What's the big deal? Like, you're gonna be 5 minutes late. You're with Edmund. Like,
Okay.
I mean, they're
Just
gonna
tell them
be.
you're with Edmund.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, like take your time. You know, like
We're
they're
not
gonna,
worried.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, spend as much time as possible because that doesn't happen often.
Wow.
But no, you were very like you were so bought into that.
Yeah, it was really
That I
upsetting.
was willing to sit outside the car for a very long time in the Phoenix sun, just like waiting
You
for
went
him.
in the store.
I went in the store, I came back out. You still were talking. I was like, I'm sweating, I'm dying. Then I got into the car.
I
Then
did
it
let him in
kept
the
going. Then we started asking everyone for their intentions. And people were going for 10 minutes at a time sharing their intentions. There was like 100 women. We were praying over people.
100 women.
Beth was praying over people, but
Call
then
down the fire of the Holy Spirit.
and Beth cares about their that relationship so much. She honors and protects it. She wouldn't let me talk to them at all. Who is it that you wouldn't let me talk to? Karen, I think, or someone. I was like, hi, Karen. And Beth was like, Edmund, you cannot talk.
she smacked you in the mouth.
Yeah, she was like, yeah, serious. I'm not joking about that. Beth was like, Edmund, you cannot talk. I'm with them.
I was not.
Don't.
I didn't do that.
And then Beth's like praying with them, and I'm like praying. I'm
You
like
were
praying for these women.
praying. It
Yeah, I
was
was
so sweet.
No, but you really did. That was very like that was another just like thing that I was like, you guys do talk the talk. Like it isn't just. I think it's easy to see something that big and just be like, this is just a machine, like you're saying.
Yeah.
And people don't see that. This is why I do hope that we do more vlogging with I say we, us, that we do
Yeah.
more vlog because people don't see that. People don't see
Yeah.
the people that are writers see that, but no one else sees that type of relationship that goes into what comes out. And it can be really easy to consume things and just think,
Yeah.
and just take it for granted. I get this email every day and it better be good. You know, as opposed to like realizing that you guys, there's relationships that are being like nurtured. There's community behind it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great example too, like ongoing discipleship. Like
Yeah.
is we're all called to that.
Yeah.
It's not like okay, once you're a writer for Blessed is She, like you need to be discipled less. If anything, it's the opposite.
Right.
Totally.
Like you made it such a priority. Like, no, like they need me, as if you were talking to someone who is about to die and hasn't met.
Well,
Jesus.
I almost died. You put my life in jeopardy.
Example, yeah.
You put a father of 5.
Oh my.
Wow, Beth.
I mean, she's like like we're in the middle of the intersection. It's
This is actually kind of true.
No,
I
it's
mean, I was
100%
like
true.
very upset.
the only thing that's not true is the word I yelled. Right?
Yeah.
That was the only thing that's not accurate.
The
Do
point
we
of
have one
the
more
story,
question?
Ephesians 4:29.
Do we have one
the
more
one,
question?
the one that Johnny gave you.
It said
You
if
were
you had to
supposed to
choose,
vote.
if you had to choose between miraculous Topo Chico water or holy water, which would
that's what it
you?
meant.
Holy water.
Which would you chug?
Oh, chug. How many people's hands were in the holy water?
Oh, okay.
About as many as harvested that sweet nectar out of Mexico's grasslands. The same amount.
Do you hold water in your hands like that?
That's how they harvest it.
That's not how you do it.
No, that's how they harvest it. It's carbonated. You have to use special
You have to
gloves.
harvest
yeah,
water.
you get in and you're harvesting.
You have to
You gotta
Stand
lift
like
with
that
your
too?
knees, Ed.
Well, you can't.
Not stand like that ever again.
Beth, no one's sitting. No one's sitting
Yeah.
out
Harvesting
in.
water.
Lift with
Yeah,
your
no one's-
knees.
Yeah,
You're
no one's-
gonna hurt your back. There you go.
No
Okay.
one's sitting.
Yep.
What is
Yep.
that?
You're
He's
harvesting
harvesting, Beth.
the sweet
I wish you could.
agua de Mexico.
Yes.
Monterrey. They're harvesting.
But it's a
it.
big harvest. You're like use
Yeah.
your arms.
The harvest is plentiful,
Water's
Beth,
heavy. Yeah, I know.
and it's been just bubbling up for years.
Water
Years.
is heavy.
Yeah.
It's heavy.
Water's the heaviest. Are you kidding
Since
me? The ocean?
No, seriously.
The heaviest thing on earth?
No, guys, I'm not making this up. Since 1895, it says right there.
That water's
It's-
been in there since
Yes,
1895.
but look at this. I'm not
amazing.
joking. Bottled at the source. It comes out carbonated. Bottled at the
I
source.
could taste the difference.
Allie, right?
I mean,
Okay.
that's kind of cool.
Allie knows.
Isn't that cool?
It's kind of cool.
We should make a pilgrimage there. Would you come?
I would go.
Can we do a blessed is he pilgrimage?
Father Mike is going on that one.
Okay, is there another question? Is that it?
No, that was it. We are at
Okay.
Beth has a question for you guys.
okay, go for it.
Beth,
Oh, go, Beth. We're ready.
improv.
Oh,
Well, I actually
just-
I had a really good question.
I have one. You go.
No,
first.
you go.
No, you go.
Yeah, you go, Beth.
You go.
No,
Beth.
Okay, I'll go.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
yeah.
Beth?
Go ahead.
Oh, Lord.
What is it?
Jenna, if you're in praise and worship,
Yes.
like and it's really going well.
Okay.
What? What? Does this not happen often?
Going after it.
I'm loving this.
If you're
I'm in it right now.
If you're in
Okay.
the glory cloud
Yep.
and you like,
The glory cloud.
yeah,
Yeah.
Familiar with that.
and you slip on a hallelujah puddle and you
Crack my neck.
yes, and
Okay.
you die.
Yes.
What?
Who ascends to the power of blessed is she? Are you and Mike?
That's a great question.
Are you and
Wow.
Mike? Are you and Mike?
I love this question.
Would you marry Mike, Beth?
Oh Wow. He told. Do you guys talk about that if you'd get remarried?
Me and Mike? Do we talk about
No.
you
do
guys'
you guys?
plan?
We've had that talk, and
Yeah.
we always end up getting sad and just.
Well, have you guys
Holding
seen
each other.
the series Love Comes Softly? The Prairie.
Yes, of course I've seen Love Come Softly. I've
Killing
literally
me
never met
softly.
anyone else who's seen it. I've seen all of them.
Wow.
Friendship stamp. It just happened.
They really bothered me.
It was upsetting.
They bother me. Well,
That was
no.
awful.
They
Wait,
bother
so what's
me.
the- what-
So
do
the
they get married
No,
after?
the story is that this man
Yeah.
marries a woman whose husband dies.
Yes.
And she's kind of like forced into it because she needs someone to take care of her, and it's kind of her only option. It's out in the prairie.
Okay.
And he
They were like coming across.
Yeah.
They're like crossing
and
the
so
west.
he kind of
I
like
see.
he
They're
kind
by
of like
themselves.
takes care of her, and she has no other, like she's so in love with her original husband, like and so
Yeah.
heartbroken. But over time, he is just so gentle and compassionate and giving that over time,
Wow.
love. Get this, Jenna.
Come softly.
Comes soft.
Wow.
So it bothered me until I got married.
Yeah.
So before getting married, I was very like jealous of I was like, no, ew, no. Like even
Yeah.
if I'm dead, no, ew, like weird.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, like I think now that I have 5 kids and I don't know. I think I would. Yeah, I don't know. I'd be.
As well.
Who cares? I'm gonna be dead. Like I'm gonna be perfect. I'm gonna be perfect.
I'm just trying to get married the first time.
Yeah.
I'm not really concerned about getting married a second time.
But this might be a good
you know?
like partnership here. Like,
Oh, Mike and Beth would not be
Not a good-
compatible.
that's not a
a
good-
good fit.
oh, okay, all right.
Love is not a feeling, Beth.
Love comes
Love
softly.
is a choice. Would you choose to love Mike?
I choose to love Gabby.
You do
Caesar.
love Mike.
Beth,
I love
She loves Mike.
Yeah.
would you say you will the good of him?
Okay.
You will his
Would you
good?
die to yourself?
Wow. This I'm feeling really
You're getting hot.
uncomfortable.
Can I just say this? No, but
Let me tell you this.
Can I just say
if
this?
Once you get married
Yeah.
and you die, I would marry your husband. Because I
Jenna.
love you
so-
that much.
No, because
What a
Jenna.
lucky guy.
Yeah. No, because Jenna already knows that he's gonna be a catch.
Yeah.
And that's so sweet.
What is it, Allie? She's praising for the gift that's already coming.
Yep.
She's
Christmas,
praising.
that's a Christmas
Or what's
praise.
the thing, right?
There's a Christmas praise.
What's that? Was that like a Lifetime show or like
No.
Christmas praise?
Tell
What
us
is that?
more about
Yeah,
it.
it's like Tasha Cobbs.
Is this The Secret or like?
No.
Oh.
This isn't heretical.
She says, the Lord said to her, I want you to give me a Christmas praise. She's like, what is that? He's like, you know, when you like had all your gifts on Christmas and then your parents are like, there's one more. And you're like, what? What is it going to be? And they're like, come outside. It's like too big. It can't even come in the house. That's a Christmas praise.
Damn.
When you come out and there's like a car with a bow on it and you're like, ah!
Wow.
Yeah, that's a
Does
Christmas
that happen
praise.
to you often, Beth?
It's
You
never
get
happened to
cars?
me.
That's not happened to me.
Wow.
Never me either.
Mom, Dad, if you're listening to this, there's still time.
Okay. What was the last thing from? Oh, so who ascends to power? Really? So
I think Mike would ascend to power.
Yeah.
okay.
And then Nell and Beth would split responsibilities.
I think that's
per
fair.
Mike's direction,
I think that's just and
which
fair.
is terrifying for Beth and Nell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Beth and Nell, I think Mike would take a pool cue and he would snap it in half.
Yep.
And he would leave it in the room and he would close the door and he would say, Beth, Nell, whoever comes out of this room alive
I mean,
You stay.
can post to Instagram often. And then that's how it would go.
Neither of them.
Yeah, would want that.
Yeah. Who wants that?
He'd
job?
probably come back in
Posting to
after an
Instagram.
hour and you guys would have already started a religious order or something.
You've assembled the pew. You prayed over the pool cue. It's reassembled itself.
yeah.
Okay,
Turn into-
I want to hear Beth's question.
Okay, come on, Beth.
I genuinely just, we didn't have time in the car. So
Okay, do it, Johnny.
Sure.
How's your prayer
I
life?
just want to know, what's Jesus doing or saying?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I just finished 6 straight weeks of traveling, and I'm just so tired. Like I was in the chapel today, just like I couldn't really pray anything besides like, all right, God, I'm exhausted. So I think I'm just I don't know. It sounds like a little cliche, but I think I'm just really being invited into like a period of rest, which is something like you can ask my wife about. Like I'm just terrible at. So that's honestly where I'm at. Like it's like a busy summer, and so I have this weekend off, which is the only weekend I have off this summer. So I'm really looking forward to resting, being with my family, praying. So yeah, some Sabbath. Do you know what the word Sabbath means, Edmund?
Is that the band?
That's the band. Yep.
They're good.
I'm going to listen to some Sabbath.
Yeah. Very
The black ones?
Very
The
peaceful.
black. Dang it, Jenna. Come on.
Always. It's 2019.
Always do this.
We can't say
Why
that.
do they? All right.
Isn't it Black Sabbath?
Okay, there's all right. Edmund, your answer. Your answer.
I have a hard time expressing with words often what the Lord is doing. If I had to,
How do you like to express it with your body?
Jenna, you are just PG-13 as heck tonight.
yeah, Beth, if I could express what the Lord's doing,
Yeah.
it would be like this.
No.
It's beautiful.
Stop.
That is nice. He's lifting you up, welcoming you in.
It'd be like this.
Harvesting water.
Come on. What's your prayer like? Like, are there themes that come up?
Recently, I have been I realize that I have so much baggage, or I have so many preconceived. I lived my whole life trying to get approval from. Here's the thing. I moved around a lot, and every time I moved, there was a new, social hierarchy to learn, and so it was like, what is cool and acceptable in Biloxi, Mississippi, where I am clearly the minority, right? And then then the next year in New Hampshire, and then, like there are 5 kids in the cafeteria instead of 500, and I'm like, and I think I talk about this a lot. It's like, where are all the black kids? And someone was like, oh, we had one 2 years ago. He graduated. It was like, so I learned really quickly that like to avoid hurt or rejection, like to lay low, like assess the social hierarchy, and then figure out what gets attention or approval. And then, you know, like the obvious, like oldest son, high achieving, you know, seeking the approval of your parents and stuff like that. And I have been trying to like dig back through my prayer life and like without having any preconceived notions, like to try to read the Gospel of Mark and like not carry with me. And this is great, but like not, it's great to have witness like models of holiness, but I carry like, this can be very vulnerable. I carry like, you know, Scott Hahn and Annie Hickman and you know, Bishop Fulton Sheen and like G.K. Chesterton and my close friends. Like that's even weird. Like I carry the people I love with me into prayer. And so it's hard to know, like, it's hard to peel that back and like, what comes after that? I just haven't known that. So that's been really hard. And I don't even know what happens. It's just like, I don't know, stuff sucks. It's just like sitting there just being like, stuff sucks. And I don't understand, like what this is even, to be honest, like, and my wife and I have shared a little bit about this on the podcast, like struggling with faith and just being like, I believe, but I don't know what is this actually, like you read spiritual books that are like, you know, just, I have said it and taught it for so long, like allow God to love you. And for the first time, I really understand when people are like, where do I accept that? Where does the mail go? Where I put the love, you know?
Wow.
Like I get it on a I've been doing it for so long.
Yeah.
Like I get how to do it. I get like I've known it for so long, but I don't know what that looks like. It's scary to lean into what that looks like without all the other people there with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if that makes sense, but that's it's been really tough. Like this doesn't feel like prayer. It feels like like this
Battle.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What battle?
Like no battle.
Oh, battle. Yeah.
Like I was talking, well, this is a long story, but anyways, like I reflect often on how the catechism calls, I can't remember the paragraph, but it's like, the spiritual battle of prayer is what it calls it. And so like a lot of times I'll be praying, and it's like, God, this is a battle, but like, you know, I'm willing to fight this battle. That's so cliche, but you get my point.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. It's a good point. Not to my point.
It sounds like a real unraveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like an unraveling in front of the Lord, and I can imagine him putting you back together.
Yeah. And I mean, to be more, to be current, like with so many people we love and respect, and finding out that they're not, that they're not perfect. And if you would have told me like, look, no one's perfect, I would have been like, yeah, I know, but I wouldn't have like, see, you know, and to see people you really look up to and admire and think are way smarter than you and more subtle and aware and are living life. And then, you know, just today, it's like just the battles and the struggles. And you're just like, these are all people I was bringing with me, like that I was lifting myself up with.
Yes.
And that's wrong. I think, I'm realizing that it was wrong for me to, even though it's a good, like there's good in it.
Totally.
Like Mother Teresa's great.
Totally.
But I'm like comparing myself to those people, even in prayer. It's like this subconscious, like how do I do that? So, I mean, Jenna, I think you've talked about struggling with faith before.
Yeah.
And like how did you and Mike, because I think it was both of you, right? Struggling with that. How did you like?
Mine's different. Mine's like is any of this real?
Yeah.
Mike's is more like, why are priests awful?
Yeah.
So why do we believe in this?
Yeah.
Like things like that, you know, just like culture and that feeling really heavy that like we're held to a standard, but people in the hierarchy aren't. And so why are we held to this? you know? But Mike's like on the wave of like, let's just be Protestant then. Not so much like not Christian.
How do you deal with that when that nihilism seeps over your head in the middle of the night?
From Mike?
No.
That's a big word for me. Can you? I need a thesaurus on that.
What does this all mean? Is this even real? Does it what is the point? It sounds like that's what you're saying.
Yeah.
How have you dealt with that?
I just have to watch YouTube videos.
Bill Johnson. Some of great.
Okay.
Right?
That's helped me.
I mean, I like research, like, how do we know Jesus is real? Like, it's like basics.
Yeah.
Beth and I just shared about that on Blessed is She this past week, like taking our doubts and fears and like, what does this mean to the actual church instead of taking it. In the past, I've flirted with atheism and talked to an atheist coworker a lot, and he gave me a book, and it was like magnetic to me. So it's definitely something the evil one uses on me.
Yeah.
For sure. So then I hung out with Mike one day, and Mike was like, we weren't dating or anything. He was just a friend. And he was like, you need to throw that book out. We're going to confession. Like, it's just like easy for Mike. Like, if we're like in it, we're going to be in it 100%.
Yeah.
Which is a gift to me. So anyway, it's either like I'm like all in with flirting with this idea that I don't know if any of this is real, or I'm all in, like I'm into the fullness of the faith, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of, I mean, I have to pick up one or the other every single day, to be honest.
Yeah.
So yeah, I make that choice. And the Lord is good, and not to be super weird. I don't know, but
can you be any weirder than what has happened on this podcast
right?
so far?
He's faithful, and he comes through and he shows me things. And just today we were praying and he confirms things. Just, it's incredible. And I'm like, oh, okay, you're real. Like this is a real thing.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for those moments. I hold on to them very tight.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, Beth, you're the only one that hasn't shared yet.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I say a lot of the same thing when I talk about the Lord.
It's good. It's just going good.
Yeah, I mean,
Like a high schooler, how was school?
Good.
It's good. Fine. That's it. Fine. Fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
No, it's good. But, you know, probably for about a year, the Lord has just been inviting me to like let him hold me and not have to pray about something, not have to always be discerning or like looking for an answer or, you know, afraid to do the right thing. Like that the real relationship and the real consolation is just being together and being that close, you know?
Yeah.
Receiving his affection. And I think in particular, a very healing aspect of that has just been sitting with the Lord for longer than feels comfortable and allowing him to like hold me like that, because I feel within myself this like deep thing that I'm in inconvenience, like that he probably has something better to do, you know, like that was really sweet, Lord, thank you, but I know, you know.
Yeah.
I know you need to go.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. That's exactly it. So it's actually really hard. I'm sure that sounds like really sweet, consoling prayer, but it's like, it's painful to be loved, to like let someone look at you
Yeah.
and hold you, and you don't have to do or say anything. And to just feel wanted, is good, hard work, you know?
Yeah.
So trying to lean into that, for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
you know, like sit with it longer.
I don't know why, but this reminds me of Danielle and I. One of these big turning points in marriage counseling was Dave talking about like, all right, Edmund, when you're not doing well, like, what is it that you want more than anything? And I was like, well, I mean, like, yeah, for my wife to console me. And Danielle was like, what? Like, anytime I try to do that, you fight it. And one of the most profound things that's ever come out of my mouth was like realizing that I said like, no, but I want to fight it. Like I want to like be in that.
Yeah.
That was important for me.
Yeah.
That, and it's so hard to say like, because you want to be strong. It's so hard to tell someone like, no. I know I'm telling you I don't want it, but I want you to fight through it. Yeah. And that, like, if you feel like if you say that, it just gives up the whole charade.
Right.
Because then you're not strong anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm going to write a book on that.
I would read it.
Will you guys publish it?
Yeah.
That's why we brought you here.
Blessed is she.
I could go under like a female pseudonym.
No.
Pen
What
name.
would you choose?
Edelina.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
What else? What else would you go with? That's obvious choice.
Edelina, Josephine, Michelle.
Michelle. The second.
The third.
Dang it.
Okay.
Guys, any other questions? Are there any other questions? This is a great podcast. How do you feel about this podcast? You don't. You're right.
I didn't say any question.
Do you have a question?
Yeah.
Oh, let's do it. Let's do it.
Beth
I'm
is
excited.
so
I can't think. I'm
consoling.
trying to think of one so
my
hard.
Okay.
You don't even have one.
Right.
Sorry, guys.
You don't have
Big
one, do
letdown.
you?
Big letdown.
Anything else? Is there anything
Wow.
else we didn't cover? I think that's it. We were supposed to call Ian, but I think it's just
Wait,
too
guys,
late.
August 1st.
Where's Ian? I want to talk to Ian.
Hi, Ian.
Oh, he was ready to go.
How you doing, Ian?
Good. I can't see
He
you.
can't
Must
see
be
us.
your terrible internet.
Hey.
Sad.
Burned you.
Easy. Okay, guys. This is Ian. Ian is he's the producer. He's one of the producers of the show. Corey's also a producer who I remember her name and
Thanks,
about her.
Corey.
This is everyone here. We just finished up an hour and 20-minute podcast.
Nice and short for you.
Yeah. Hey. So we
He's
just
trying
talked
to
with,
beat Dr. Taylor Marshall.
Yeah, we talked with Jenna and Jenna and Beth.
Hi, Ian. I'm Jenna.
Hi, I'm Beth.
So Ian just wanted to call in to say hi. He normally gives me feedback and stuff on the show.
Oh,
But
okay.
Do you have some feedback for us?
I heard preliminary things about it and it not going well.
that's not true. That's not true. It went
Allie.
very well.
Allie.
Allie, what were you
texting
telling
Ian.
Ian?
You told
texting
Ian
Ian.
it didn't go well?
Allie's like, this is boring.
That's something she
AF.
would do. That's something Allie would do.
No, I think I did a really good job. Jenna and Beth. I almost made Beth cry, and then I cried
A few times.
Okay.
But I think I did a pretty good job. I'm normally pretty good with I just make it real organic and natural.
Real natural.
I'll make sure to listen to your show.
All right, bye,
Bye.
Ian. Love you.
Love you.
All right, bye.
Edmund,
understand.
why?
That
what
went
just-
well.
Why were we just berated by a stranger?
I don't know. He's just kind of phlegmatic or
Who
choleric.
is he?
I don't know.
He's
That's not
phlegmatic.
choleric.
It's
No,
phlegmatic.
That's not phlegmatic.
What do you
I
want to say to
don't
him?
get what just happened.
He's
I
a nice
thought
guy.
he was a single guy, and that's why we were talking to him.
No.
Who are we trying to hook him up
Well,
with?
I was
I
wondering.
thought we were
Literally,
hooking him up with
he's
Beth.
calling-
is that
That's
what we
why
were
I
doing?
said, what
No,
do you
he's
do for a living?
FaceTiming. He's FaceTiming, and Edmund goes, he's married. I was like, I didn't ask.
Edmund, why didn't you tell me that? Ian,
Listen, if you want to get Beth married, you got to come on the show again.
Ian, are you going to get married if your wife dies?
Oh my
This
god.
has been the show, everybody. Yes.
Goodness gracious.